We're back. It's a new episode, and in this video, we're breaking down Best Director, Best Original Screenplay. If you want to see Best Adapted Screenplay, it'll be in our snubs video. And we're going to talk about directing Best Picture. I don't know which one I already said, but
Yeah.
let's get into it by starting off with Best Original Screenplay. I'm a big screenwriting person, so this is one of the more important categories to me.
Yeah.
Promising Young Woman won, written by Emerald Fennell, who also directed the film, beating out Judas and the Black Messiah, Minari, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago 7. Nick, I'm going to break this down because never do I miss a chance to talk about Trial of the Chicago 7. We do.
You go for it. Yeah, you do it, man.
I don't even know if that film should. It's a good film, but top 5 original screenplay. I'm just not quite sure about it. You know what I mean? It almost feels like more of an Aaron Sorkinism than an organic film at points, and I think that plays to its detriment. To be perfectly honest, I get why it's there. It's still a well-written film. Structurally, it's very good. I can't take away any of those things, but it didn't. I don't know. It's besides the point. It's not. It didn't win. It was never going to win. Sound of Metal and Minari, though, like those screenplays are so good, so good. Like the way Minari plays out from a plot perspective, and though I do guess it's more of an exploration, really. And I think a lot of these exploration films, like we talked about with Nomadland before, I think that best screenplay is kind of like pushed away from those kind of character or family character explorations, as opposed to more plot-driven films. But this is coming from someone who has not seen Promising Young Woman, of course. But Sound of Metal, man, it's so beautiful the way it's written from Act 1 to Act 3 and the character progression. I was like, oh, that seems to be like a lock, except for I had heard about Promising Young Woman was next level. So Nick, you're the expert on Promising Young Woman here. Break it down for us.
This one, like I said in our acting video, this category and Best Supporting Actress were the 2 categories where I was like, if it isn't Fennel and it isn't Yeon Jung, I'm gonna go to sleep very upset. And they both got it. Somehow I was still upset at the end of the night, but that's just the Oscars for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think Fennel really like hers. And it's funny because Promising Young Woman, like just speaking to a vague point, is pretty controversial, especially for one plot point that occurs. But like I still think it's still a very just clever screenplay. That thing balances just humor, thrills, and like very like biting like social critique, and it's all done like very in its own like very like off like bent and like unique way. And I don't know, like I haven't comparing it to the other categories like Judas and the Black Messiah, I thought that was like I wasn't the I mean I loved the film, but I was like I don't know about best screenplay. Came up just as a normal like historical film. Minari was really good. You touched on that. You also covered Sound of Metal. Trial, what probably happened. They saw Aaron Sorkin's name and just threw it up there. That's what happened. I would have much preferred to see. Oh no, he won at the Independent Spirit Awards. Whoever wrote Palm Springs, I think they.
Oh yeah.
I think they deserved. Yeah. I think over Sorkin and the Judas team, I think they deserved an original screenplay nom. But you know, I think at the end of the day, I think I still would have given it to Fennel. It's just that crosses over to so many genres and manages to be so many things. It's just really cool to see, and really crazy to watch. I think Fennel for me, that was always my predestined winner, and I'm really glad she got it because she's amazing. Yeah, that was the two main categories: supporting actress, original screenplay.
Yeah, I think for me the frustrating thing is Soul isn't in here.
Yeah, that's another one.
Soul may be my favorite, like story wise.
Mhm.
Um, it may be my favorite film of the year just from that
Yeah.
perspective. I mean, it's
So,
battling with Nomadland.
right.
I love that movie so much, and I just think it's kind of criminal that the script's not
Yeah,
there
I mean,
because Kemp Powers deserves it.
Soul's damn impressive. I mean, just the way it handled existentialism in a kids movie, like that's ridiculous. That's good to pull it off as well as it does. So I think in a perfect world, Soul and Palm Springs would replace Judas and Trial for me. Um,
Mhm.
again, I haven't seen Sound, but everything like I think those are the two that Judas and Trial stick out to me. I think I would personally replace them with Soul and um, Palm Springs. But regardless, to say my winner came out, so I'm okay with the category regardless.
Yeah, yeah. And that's not to say they're bad films. It's
Right.
just we're saying
Yeah.
we want to replace good films with ones that we thought were
Right.
better. Let's get into directing. The woman, the myth, the legend. I believe it's the second female director to win in this category.
After Catherine Bigelow.
After Catherine Bigelow for The Hurt Locker.
Mhm.
Um, and she full-heartedly deserves this, if that's even the right phrase,
Yeah.
um, for Nomadland. It's Chloe Zhao going to be directing the upcoming Eternals movie as well, beating out another round's Thomas Wittenberg, Manx David Fincher, Minari's Lee Isaac Chung, and then Promising Young Woman's Emerald Fennell.
Mhm.
Um, Nick, this wasn't surprising, was it? And what are your thoughts just overall?
I think it was predestined the moment she in the film won the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival, and like since then, like nothing's been stopping it. I remember in our Mank review because none of us had seen Nomadland just yet, and I said something along the lines of like, "Hey, I think David Fincher stands a good chance of finally winning his Oscar this year." And then like 3 months later, I was like, "Oh no, never mind. Sorry,
Right.
Fincher. One day, man, one day." But I honestly like just speaking to all the nominees. Like this is honestly like a really cool category because like um Fennel and Chung are up and coming, and at least in the directing department. Fincher and Vinterberg have been around for a while. Zhao's another up and comer. Like, I think it was like a really cool and diverse like group to be competing against one another. And I mean, Chloe Zhao did such a great job. I would love if like Marvel took advantage of that. I'm sure like, and they put like for the first Eternals trailer, like from Academy Award winner Chloe Zhao, like because they could do that now. Just market the director like that because they've never done that really. So like that'd be really awesome. This is gonna be such a good year for her. God bless. um, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it was predestined. I think like she and Nomadland for the big awards since Venice, and so um, I mean, I'm not angry. I don't know who else I would have picked if I'm being honest. I mean, Fennel did a great job. Fincher did a great job. Chung did a great job. I haven't seen another round just yet, but um, Chloe Zhao was always the one. She was always the one.
Yeah, I know another round's next on my list because I think believe it's free on Hulu. So free film
Awesome.
equals for me. Um, but
That works within our
it's
budget.
exactly. It wasn't even close for me. Nomadland is so visually and thematically stunning. It
Right.
it brings me to it brings me to a whole different world, right? We
Yeah.
never think about people who live in their car, people who are struggling post 2008 economic crash. This film takes place around 2014, I believe.
Mhm.
Um, and it follows the beauty and the struggle of their lives without fetishizing it at any point. And it just is such beautiful service to this group of people that really we don't talk about in society, right?
Right. Right.
And a lot of people be like, oh my God, that's so sad that they're living that way. When in reality, those people, while circumstance may not be ideal for how they got there, a lot of them are really at peace and they love the way they're living life and they feel connected to nature and they just view
Yeah.
life through this whole different prism. And I
Mhm.
think the whole exploration through that film really brought to me personally, another sense of beauty in the world, right? And
Yeah.
I think that feeling is so spectacular that there was no way that you
And
can award the best director.
right. And I just want to emphasize it because as we said in our snubs video, this got like um overrun by the chaos of best actor, but like Chloe Zhao was the first woman of color to win best director, second again overall after Bigelow. Like that's just really cool. And it's this is what the like coming off of like Bong Joon-ho. That was so cool, by the way. Bong Joon-ho like handing it off metaphorically to Chloe
Yeah,
Zhao. Like that was awesome. Like two great directors, two great like films to be awarded for. And I don't know, I feel like with these ceremonies, it's often like that was a really great winner. And then the next year it's kind of like, well, they were the best of that year. But you know, but here we're talking like solid handoff. That was just really cool that she's out there, she's doing her thing.
yeah. If this film had gotten 90% of the vote plus
Mhm.
for best director, I would not
Right.
have been surprised.
Yeah.
Like it was that substantial. And there are films that I'm like, oh, why? If there's one film or one director that I'm like, why are you here? And
Yeah.
maybe my favorite director, it's David Fincher, who I will never not think about how he should have won Best Director for The Social Network, and that may be one of the
Another
biggest
discussion, another video.
robberies in history. Nick's trying to push me away because he knows I could talk about this for like a whole
Yeah.
year. I get so frustrated every time, but you know, I would have loved to see a Spike Lee put in there,
Yeah.
or
No
Darius
love.
Martyr
No
for
love for
Sound of
the
Metal.
no love for the Five Bloods.
Yeah, no love at all.
God.
Or I don't Lee Winnell, I believe is how you say his name.
Oh, for Invisible Man. Yeah.
I think any of those films could have been nominated. Their directors could have been nominated, but like at the end of the day, end result was perfect. It's really exciting. I'm really excited
Yeah.
for Chloe Zhao because I'm just like stunned by the film. I really
Yeah.
can't like even fully describe how beautiful it is. But let's get into the film of all films. The film community loves this award. It's the biggest award that they decided not to put at the end. It's Best Picture. And the winner is the same person who directed the film, who won Best Director.
Yep.
It's Nomadland, beating out The Father, Judas and the Black Messiah, Mank, Nari, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, and Trial of the Chicago Seven.
Yep.
Nick, we've already talked a ton about Nomadland, so I don't want to get too much into it. What were some of the other contenders you thought had a chance to maybe slip in and win the category um, this year?
Yeah, I think for me, the trio of these nominees for me was Nomadland, Minari, and Promising Young. If it wasn't going to be Nomadland, I would have given it to either of the two. Me personally, of the two, I would have given it to Minari. But those were the trio. Everything else, The Father I haven't seen, and then just Father, Sound I haven't seen again. But Trial and Judas, I was like, they kind of felt like the Ford v Ferrari of this year. Not to disparage Ford v Ferrari, but like, 'cause, like I love that movie. But like, I was like, Best Picture against these nominees. I was like, that's gonna be they have a longer hill to climb than everyone else. Um, but yeah, I mean, I have no complaints about Nomadland. If it wasn't gonna be them, it's gonna be Minari. If it wasn't gonna be them, it was gonna be Promising Young. After that, I would have just said they're making all wrong decisions at this point, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, we don't want a green book
No,
situation.
God. No.
But yeah, I would have. I was like Minari could slip in there. I know it was gaining a lot of steam.
Right.
Literally the last week I had read a ton of articles like, "Don't sleep on the father, man. People really love
Yeah.
this film."
Again, like that film, like such a late release, but like they went right for the throat. They went for everything they could possibly get, and they had. I mean, now Anthony Hopkins is the oldest Academy Award winner ever. So I mean, it
Yeah,
did something right. Something went really well on that production.
yeah. I would have if I haven't seen Promising Young, so it would have been between Minari and Sound of Metal for me, which would have been a really tough choice
Yeah.
because I know you guys don't see my letterbox. I kind of try and hide it because it changes from day to day. But
Yeah.
I have Sound of Metal as my number two, and Minari's been creeping up my list. Right, it's at number six, but it's like this is how my list works. I'm like it goes from six to two. It's not a
Right.
straight jump.
For
And
sure.
I've been like contemplating, God, if I had to choose between these, how would I figure it out, man? Would I
Mhm.
flip a coin? Like these are both amazing films.
Well,
And
it's like the best actress category. It's one of those like either one. Like for you, it's Minari and Sound. For me, it's Minari, Promising Young. It's like, and then Nomadland again to complete the trio. It's like either of these that could have won. We probably have our favorite, but we won't be mad either way. Just as long as like wasn't like Trial or something, then that would have been
right,
kind of weird. But otherwise, it's like all great stuff recognized.
yeah, and I'm happy this year was so wonderful for film. Like considering the pandemic, and it's such a bummer that so many less people got to see all these films.
Mhm.
Because 2020 was really a great year.
Right.
To wrap this up, I just kind of want to highlight, despite all the struggles and the trials and tribulations with COVID,
Yeah.
that 2020 has had, it's really been a wonderful year for film. Like I love looking at all the films I've watched in a year, the 40 or 50 something
Mhm.
movies, um, and to be like, I really saw like 15 or 20 films that I really loved this year.
Right.
Um, I don't get to say that a lot of years. You know, there was the Stars Born year where it's like five maybe really good films. This was a great year for film, and I just want to say that like in a great year for film, Nomadland won. Like that
Oh,
is a props to
100%.
how great of a movie that is.
Mhm.
Nick, is there anything else that we want to touch on before we wrap up? Anything else you want to say about the best direct picture category?
No, I mean, for the most part, in this specific set of stuff that we're talking about, everything unfolded, in my opinion, as it should have. Of course, as we've repeatedly said, like there's some stuff that we were like, maybe this could have creeped ahead and we wouldn't have been mad. But I would say in this particular group of screenplay, director, picture, nothing went wrong, which is rare to say. But yeah, nothing went wrong. Everyone was the right people were chosen.
Yeah, 100%. With that, that wraps up our video. Let us know what you guys think. Who should have won for best director, best picture, best screenplay? Let us know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. We'll see you next time.
Peace out.